Your morning cup of tea isn't what you think it is. That comforting brew you're sipping right now, it might contain billions of microplastic particles, pesticides banned in over 140 countries, and chemicals linked to cancer and infertility. I spent weeks investigating American tea brands. What I found will make you pour your current cup straight down the sink. Some of these so-called natural brands are selling you dust, artificial flavoring, and leaves, contaminated with substances banned in food production. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly which 7 tea brands are lying to you, the ones using the cheapest ingredients, the most dangerous additives, and the most deceptive marketing. By the end, you'll know exactly which teas to avoid and what you should be drinking instead. 1. Celestial Seasonings. That cheerful box with the sleepy bear, the 100% natural label printed right on the front, the tea your mom probably gave you when you couldn't sleep as a kid. Celestial Seasonings looks like everything wholesome tea should be. Then, a class action lawsuit ripped that image apart. In 2013, independent lab tests found that 91% of Celestial Seasonings teas contained pesticide residues, exceeding US federal limits, not trace amounts, not borderline levels. 91% failed. The Sleepy Time Kids Good Night Grape, the one parents give their children before bed, contains 0.2% parts per million of propaclor. That's a known carcinogen under California's Proposition 65. Parents were tucking their kids in with a cup of cancer, linked chemicals and a cartoon bear on the box, but it didn't stop there. The wellness tea line marketed to health-conscious consumers contained traces of properite, another known carcinogen, another developmental toxin, another chemical that has no business being anywhere near something called wellness. The lawsuit accused Celestial Seasonings of false advertising. The plaintiffs argued that no reasonable consumer would expect 100% natural tea to contain synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and carcinogens. They were willing to pay premium prices because they trusted that label. They got chemistry experiments instead. Here's what makes it worse. Celestial Seasonings never disputed the test results. They never claimed the pesticides weren't there. Their defense, they sent the same teas to a different lab, the National Food Lab, and claimed those tests detected no pesticides in the brewed teas. Translation: dilute the poison enough and the paperwork looks clean. They tested brewed tea, not the leaves. The pesticides don't disappear, they just spread thinner in your cup. The FDA had already issued 2 warning letters to Celestial Seasonings for quality control issues before the lawsuit even hit. The agency knew, the company knew, the cartoon bear kept smiling. Open a box of Celestial Seasonings today and nothing has changed. Same packaging, same natural claims, same supply chain sourcing tea from industrial operations where pesticide use is standard practice for parents who trusted that bedtime tea was safe for their children. It wasn't for people with autoimmune conditions who switched to herbal tea to avoid chemicals. You didn't avoid anything. For anyone who paid extra because natural felt safer, you paid for better marketing, not better tea. Celestial Seasonings built a brand on comfort and trust. They're still collecting the profits while the lawsuits pile up. Have you ever given sleepy time to your kids, thinking it was the healthy choice? Check what's actually in that box. The friendly bear on the label. The chemicals inside the bag. Welcome to 100% natural to Liptopin. The yellow box. The world's best-selling tea. More trusted than any other brand on earth. That trust is a lie. In 2012, Greenpeace tested Lipton tea from store shelves. Every single sample came back contaminated. Not one, not some, every single one. Between 3 and 17 different pesticides per bag. 17 chemicals in 1 cup of tea. Some banned in America, some banned in Europe, some banned in China, where Lipton grows the leaves. Banned poisons in the world's most popular tea sold to your grandmother, served to your kids. Lipton is owned by Unilever, a corporation worth over $100 billion. They could source the cleanest tea on earth. They could test every batch. They could protect every customer. They don't, because clean tea costs money and your health isn't worth the investment. $3 a box. That's what your family is worth to Unilever. Now, look at those fancy pyramid bags. The ones that look so premium, so modern, so much better than flat paper bags. They're plastic. Pour boiling water over plastic, and something terrifying happens. McGill University measured it. Nay plastic tea bag, 1 cup, 11.6 br. Illion microelastic particles released br. Into the water. 11 billion from 1 bag brie, plus 3.1 billion nanoplastics. Particles br. Oh small they slip through cell walls. Scientists have found them in human blood, in brain tissue, in the placentas unborn babies. Every cup you drink hey accumulate. They don't leave. Your grandmother drinks 4 cups a day. Hats 46 billion plastic particles Ailey for years. Exposed for decades Tobra. Poison she thought was keeping her healthy. But at least the tea inside is uality, right? Wrong. Lipton doesn't say tea leaves. They use tea dust, the broken scraps, and factory sweepings left after real tea gets sold to premium brands. Dust has no flavor, so they pump tea full of natural flavors. Lab Madebre, chemicals engineered to taste like tea, hat lemon flavor synthesized that berry lend never touched fruit. Yerbra, rinking a chemistry experiment, disguised as comfort. And who picks this? Tea. Workers earning poverty wages, children on plantations, families spraying pesticides without masks, without gloves, without protection. The human cost of your cheap tea is someone else's suffering. Unilever's response, when Greenpeace exposed them. We'll improve our practices. That was 2012. 13 years ago, independent tests still find pesticides in Lipton today. The press release worked. Your tea didn't change. For seniors who've trusted Lipton for 30, 40, 50 years, those toxins are inside you right now. For parents, pouring iced tea for kids on hot summer days, you're pouring poison with a smile. For grandparents sharing a pot with grandchildren, you're sharing more than memories. Lipton sells more tea than anyone on earth. They're not the biggest because they're the best. They're the biggest because they're the cheapest. And now you know why. Drop a comment if Lipton is sitting in your cabinet right now. Let's see how many of us have been drinking this. If the world's biggest brand can't be trusted, surely the premium brands are better. Think again. Comastivana premium glass, jars, exotic loose leaf blends, stores that smelled like a spa and charged like 1-2. Tio wasn't just tea. It was an experience, a lifestyle, the kind of brand wellness influencers posed with, the kind health-conscious shoppers trusted without question. Then Starbucks paid $620 million to buy it. And then the test results came out. Independent labs analyzed tea. The findings: 100% of samples contained pesticides. Not most, not the majority. Every single tea, 1 blend monkey-picked oolong, contained 23 different pesticides in 1 bag. 23 chemicals in something marketed as pure and natural, something people paid $30 an ounce for. But here's what should terrify you. 77% of Tijuana teas would fail European Union import standards, banned from sale. In Europe, too toxic to cross the border but perfectly legal to sell to American families. And it gets darker. 62% of teas contained endosulfan. You've probably never heard of it. You should have. Endosulfan is banned in the United States, banned in China banned in the European Union, banned in 144 countries worldwide. Why? It destroys fertility, it damages unborn babies, it poisons agricultural workers, it's one of the most toxic pesticides ever created. And it was sitting in 62% of Tivana products on store shelves in shopping malls handed to pregnant women who thought they were making the healthy choice. Starbucks knew. They had to know. You don't spend $620 million without testing what you're buying. They sold it anyway. In 2017, Starbucks announced they were closing all 379 tea stores. The brand was done. The damage was contained. Except it wasn't. Starbucks still sells Tivana tea today in their stores. In grocery aisles, that iced passion tea you order in summer, Tivana. Those tea lattes on the menu, Tivana. The stores closed. The toxic tea didn't go anywhere. The class action lawsuit didn't stop them. The lab results didn't stop them. The banned pesticides didn't stop them. They just stopped talking about it. For the wellness shoppers who paid premium prices for pure tea, you funded your own poisoning. For pregnant women who chose Tivana because it felt safer, you chose endosulfan instead. For anyone who trusted Starbucks to care about quality, they cared about $620 million. Premium, packaging, luxury pricing, banned pesticides inside. Have you ordered tea from Starbucks this week? You might want to ask what's really in that cup. The stores are gone. The poison is still pouring. For Bigelow, the family, company, third generation, American-owned, the tea your mother kept in the cabinet because it felt safe. Bigelow built their brand on being different, not a F. Aceless corporation. A family, a tradition, a name you could trust. Roundup showed up in their tea. In 2017, independent lab tests found glyphosate in Bigelow's classic green tea. Glyphosate, the active ingredient in Monsanto's Roundup, the weed killer at the center of thousands of cancer lawsuits. The same chemical groundskeepers spray on sidewalks. The same poison you keep away from kids. And pets in a box labeled all natural. The Organic Consumers Association sued. Bigelow's response. CEO Cindy Bigelow called it frivolous. But she didn't deny the glyphosate was there. Her defense, when you brew the tea, the levels become absolutely zero. Think about that. She didn't say the tea was clean. She said, diluting poison makes it safe enough. Dilute arsenic in enough water, and the test looks clean too. Would you drink it? The International Agency for Research on Cancer classified glyphosate as probably carcinogenic to humans. Thousands have sued Monsanto, claiming Roundup gave them cancer. Someone, millions, and it's in your all-natural. Bigelow. Open the box. That stale, flat smell. Tea that's been sitting in warehouses for months before reaching your kitchen. Pour hot water over it. Watch the color come fast. Too fast. That instant dark amber isn't quality. It's tea dust dumping everything in. Seconds because there's nothing complex left. Taste it. Bitter, thin, one-dimensional. A tannic bite that vanishes before you can name it. No depth, no finish. Brown water with an aftertaste. Now the bigger lie. Bigelow stamps. Manufactured in the USA on every box. American flags, family photos, third-generation pride. But where does the tea come from? China, Sri Lanka, India. The same industrial plantations as everyone else. American packaging, international supply chain, a family, story wrapped around the same product. Their competitors sell. 63% of consumers believe natural me. Anne's no pesticides, Bigelow knows. They print it anyway. 3 generations of trust. 3 generations of glyphosate. They never mentioned the family recipe, the family secret Roundup in all-natural tea, and most people still have no idea. Hit subscribe so you never trust a family brand without knowing what's really inside. If a family brand hides Roundup, at least organic brands are safe, right? Wrong. 5. Yogi tea, the spiritual, packaging, the inspirational quotes on every tag, words like organic and wellness in earthy fonts. Yogi tea looks like mindful living in a cup. Then the FDA stepped in, May 2024. Not years ago, months ago, Yogi recalled nearly 900,000 tea bags. Their Ekgonia immune support, the tea people drink when they feel sick. The one marketed to protect your health, recalled for pesticides, 877,536 bags, distributed nationwide. A tea sold to boost your immune system, contaminated with chemicals that destroy it. The FDA classified it as Class 3. Their definition, not likely to cause adverse health consequences. Not safe, not clean, just probably won't kill you. That's the bar your wellness tea cleared. Here's the sick irony. Yogi is certified organic. Their website brags about over 40 certified organic teas. They don't use pesticides. They buy only organic ingredients. So, how did poison end up in an organic tea? Yogi's answer: we exist within a complex supply chain network where not everyone values organic practices in the same way that we do. Translation: our suppliers cut corners. We sold it anyway. They blamed drift pesticides floating through the air from neighboring farms, as if contamination is just weather, as if poison is just something that happens. That organic certification you paid extra for, it didn't protect you. The USDA badge, meaningless. The premium price, you paid more for better marketing, not better tea. For people with weak immune systems who trusted Ekgonia immune support, the team meant to help you may have made things worse. For parents who chose organic to protect their kids, organic failed. For anyone who believed wellness brands are safer, you believed a logo, not a lab test. This recall happened in 2024 while you were shopping, while you were trusting. That box of Yogi might still be in your pantry right now. Inspirational quotes on the tag. Pesticides in the bag. If organic can't protect you, what about the brands you've trusted your whole life? 6. Tetley, the familiar box, the brand that's been around for generations. Tea so ordinary it feels invisible. That's exactly what they're counting on. In 2014, CBC Marketplace, Canada's consumer watchdog, sent tea brands to an accredited lab. Same methods the government uses. Tetley's results made headlines. 22 different pesticides in one tea, not across their product line, in a single bag. 22 chemicals designed to kill insects, fungi and weeds mixed together, steeping in your cup. Here's what no one talks about. Regulators test pesticides, one at a time. They set safe limits for each chemical individually, but no one studies what happens when 22 of them combine inside your body. That's not tea, that's a chemistry experiment, with no safety data. One chemical found was monocrophos. It's been banned in the United States for decades. Too toxic, too dangerous. Yet it showed up in tea, sold in American grocery stores. Another was DDT, the pesticide banned in 1972, because it was poisoning everything. Birds, fish, humans, still detectable in Tetley. 50 years after we said never, again, Tetley's defense, their tea, complies with all food safety regulations. Complies, meaning each chemical individually falls below the legal limit, but 22 chemicals at 90% of the limit, each, that math adds up fast. Regulators don't do that math. Tetley knows the regulations weren't designed for cocktails. They were designed for single ingredients. The tea industry exploits the gap for people drinking 3 cups a day. That's 66 pesticides worth of exposure daily for years. For families who brew Tetley because it's affordable and familiar. Affordable has a cost they don't print on the box. 22 chemicals, 0 studies on what they do, together. Your cup, their experiment. But at least if you pay more, you get better quality, right? Not even close. 7. Twinings. The Royal Warrant, the 300-year history, the brand that supplies tea to the British royal family. Twinings doesn't just sell tea,